Imagine a world where words and images can change history, where carefully made messages convince people to believe and act in certain ways. Propaganda is not just a way to persuade, it's a powerful force that has started revolutions, caused wars, and kept governments in power. During World War II, Nazi Germany's propaganda, led by Joseph Goebbels, made millions of Germans support a cruel regime, leading to one of history's worst conflicts. On the other hand, during the Cold War, the United States used propaganda to make Americans fear and oppose the Soviet Union, resulting in a long ideological battle. This video will explore these powerful stories, showing key examples of propaganda from different times. We will see how propaganda has shaped our world and continues to do so. In ancient times, those in power used clever ways to keep their control and influence. Take the Egyptian pharaohs, for example. These rulers weren't just kings, they were seen as gods on earth. To prove their divine right to rule, they used inscriptions and monuments. The Great Pyramid of Giza isn't just a tomb, it's a huge statement of divine power and eternal life, meant to amaze the people and strengthen the pharaoh's godlike status. In Rome, emperors had their own ways to spread their image. They used coins and statues to show their power. Every time a Roman citizen spent a coin with the emperor's face on it, they were reminded of who was in charge. Statues of emperors, often shown in godlike poses, were placed in public spaces, reinforcing the emperor's presence and power throughout the empire. Augustus, Rome's first emperor, famously used his statues to present himself as a youthful and eternal leader, even as he got older. These early examples show how leaders used clever methods to shape and control their public image, making their power seem natural and unchallengeable. It's proof of the lasting power of media and imagery, a tactic that is still effective today, just as it was thousands of years ago. Eras were a time of profound upheaval and transformation, where propaganda played a pivotal role in mobilizing the masses and shaping new nations. American Revolution. Picture this: colonial America, a land brimming with tension and the promise of change. The streets are abuzz with whispers of revolution, and pamphlets like Thomas Paine's Common Sense are fanning the flames of independence. These pamphlets were not mere sheets of paper. They were incendiary devices, lighting the spark of rebellion. Paine's powerful words painted British rule as tyrannical and independence as an urgent, noble cause. "No taxation without representation" became the rallying cry, uniting farmers, merchants, and city dwellers alike. This grassroots propaganda was the lifeblood of the revolution, transforming ordinary citizens into patriots ready to fight for their freedom. French Revolution. Now, let's journey across the Atlantic to France, a nation on the brink of chaos. The French Revolution unleashed a torrent of artistic and literary propaganda that galvanized the populace. Revolutionary leaders like Robespierre and Marat wielded newspapers, pamphlets, and striking visual art to spread their radical ideals. Political cartoons and posters didn't just inform, they provoked, depicting the monarchy and aristocracy as decadent and corrupt while glorifying the common people as the true heroes. The image of Mary Anne, embodying liberty and reason, became an enduring symbol of the revolution. These powerful visuals and writings did more than share ideas. They stirred deep emotions, igniting a collective fervor that drove ordinary citizens to topple centuries-old structures of power and privilege. In both revolutions, propaganda was more than just a tool. It was the heartbeat of the movement. It crafted compelling narratives that united people, inspired action, and ultimately reshaped the course of history. The 20th century was an era where propaganda reached unprecedented levels of sophistication and reach, profoundly influencing global conflicts and shaping ideologies. Before we dive into the revolutionary fervor, don't forget to subscribe and hit the like button to keep uncovering history's most captivating moments with World War I and II. Imagine walking through the streets during the World Wars, where every corner is adorned with striking posters, and the airwaves are filled with stirring broadcasts. In World War I, posters like the iconic "I Want YOU" for U.S. Army, featuring Uncle Sam, beckoned young men to enlist. These posters were designed to evoke a sense of duty, patriotism, and urgency. Films and newsreels such as those produced by the Creel Committee in the U.S. painted the war effort in a heroic light, galvanizing public support and demonizing the enemy. Fast forward to World War II, and the propaganda machine ramped up even further. Both the Axis and Allied powers utilized posters, films, and radio broadcasts to boost morale, encourage rationing, and keep the spirit of resistance alive. Nazi Germany's triumph of the will, a chillingly effective piece of propaganda, glorified Hitler and the Nazi Party, while the Allies countered with films like Why We Fight, designed to educate and motivate soldiers and civilians alike. These media were not just information, they were powerful weapons in their own right, shaping public opinion and national resolve. Cold War. Now, step into the tense, high-stakes world of the Cold War, where the US and the USSR were locked in a battle not just of arms, but of ideologies. This was a propaganda war fought with pens and pictures, as much as with missiles and tanks. American propaganda emphasized the virtues of democracy and capitalism, portraying the Soviet Union as a dark, oppressive regime. Films, television shows, and educational materials were produced to highlight the dangers of communism and the benefits of the American way of life. On the other side, Soviet propaganda painted the U.S. as a capitalist monster, exploiting its workers and spreading imperialism. The USSR used posters, films, and literature to extol the virtues of communism, promising a utopia of equality and prosperity. Sputnik, the first artificial satellite, was not just a scientific achievement, it was a propaganda coup that showcased Soviet technological prowess and stoked fears in the West. This propaganda battle wasn't just about words and images. It was a clash of worldviews, shaping perceptions and policies on both sides of the Iron Curtain. In the 20th century, propaganda was wielded with unprecedented scale and impact, shaping the minds of millions and leaving an indelible mark on the course of history. Social media and the internet as platforms for contemporary propaganda. Welcome to the digital age, where the battleground for hearts and minds has moved to the realm of social media and the internet. Unlike traditional media, social platforms like Facebook, Twitter, and YouTube allow information to spread with lightning speed and unparalleled reach. Algorithms curate content, creating echo chambers that reinforce existing beliefs and polarize societies. This shift has made propaganda more pervasive and personalized than ever before. Case studies of recent political and social movements influenced by propaganda. Let's explore some compelling examples. During the 2016 U.S. presidential election, fake news and misleading advertisements flooded social media, significantly impacting public opinion and voter behavior. Russian interference, through troll farms and bot accounts, spread disinformation to sow discord and undermine trust in the democratic process. This case starkly highlights how modern propaganda can disrupt even the most established democracies. In another example, consider the Hong Kong protests of 2019 to 2020. Social media became a crucial tool for both protesters and the Chinese government. Protesters used encrypted messaging apps and social media to organize and share their message with the world, while the Chinese government countered with a sophisticated propaganda campaign, using state media and troll accounts to discredit the movement and promote its narrative of stability and unity. In India, the rise of WhatsApp as a major communication tool has had profound implications. During the 2019 general elections, political parties utilized WhatsApp to spread targeted messages, often blurring the line between legitimate political discourse and propaganda. False information and rumors spread rapidly on the platform, sometimes with deadly consequences, such as the lynching incidents triggered by fake news about child kidnappings. These examples illustrate how modern propaganda operates in a digital landscape, leveraging the connectivity and immediacy of the internet to influence public opinion, manipulate political outcomes, and even incite violence. In the age of social media, propaganda has evolved into a more insidious and sophisticated force, one that we must remain vigilant against. By understanding the mechanisms and impacts of contemporary propaganda, we can better navigate the information landscape and safeguard our societies from its manipulative power. Medieval and Renaissance periods. Imagine living in a world where the walls of towering cathedrals and the pages of hand-copied manuscripts whispered powerful messages into your ears. That's precisely what it was like during the medieval and Renaissance periods. The Catholic Church, wielding immense power, used stunning stained glass windows and beautifully illustrated texts not just to spread faith, but to solidify its divine authority over millions. These visual and written marvels weren't merely for spiritual guidance, they were deliberate tools of control. Meanwhile, in the corridors of political power, propaganda took on a life of its own. Picture Henry VIII desperate to divorce Catherine of Aragon and marry Anne Boleyn. When the Pope refused his request, Henry didn't just sulk, he revolutionized the entire English Church. Breaking away from Catholicism, he founded the Church of England. But how did he convince his people to support such a drastic move? Through a relentless propaganda campaign. Sermons, pamphlets, and royal proclamations flooded England, portraying Henry's actions as divinely ordained and essential for the kingdom's prosperity. This propaganda not only legitimized his new marriage but also sparked the English Reformation, forever altering the course of history. One of the most shocking examples of the era's propaganda-driven violence is the Street Bartholomew's Day massacre in 1572. Thousands of Huguenots were brutally killed in France, their deaths justified by intense Catholic propaganda branding them as dangerous heretics. Graphic woodcuts and pamphlets spread the narrative that the massacre was a necessary act to protect the Catholic faith and restore peace. These examples showcase how propaganda evolved into a powerful force, shaping public opinion and legitimizing authority. As we've journeyed through the epochs, from ancient civilizations to the modern digital age, the evolution of propaganda reveals its enduring and transformative power. Egyptian pharaohs inscribed their divine right into stone, Roman emperors minted their authority into coins, medieval monarchs and religious institutions wielded it through sacred texts and grand art, revolutionary pamphlets and slogans incited the masses, and the 20th century saw propaganda reach new heights with posters, films, and broadcasts shaping public consciousness during times of war and ideological conflict. In today's world, propaganda has taken on a new digital guise. Social media platforms and the internet have revolutionized how information is disseminated, creating both unprecedented opportunities for free expression and significant challenges in discerning truth from manipulation. The speed and scale at which propaganda can spread in this digital era are staggering, influencing political landscapes, social movements, and everyday opinions on a global scale. Reflecting on this, the importance of media literacy cannot be overstated. In a time when anyone with an internet connection can be both a consumer and a creator of information, the ability to critically analyze and evaluate the content we encounter is crucial. Understanding the strategies and intentions behind propaganda empowers us to navigate the digital information landscape more effectively, ensuring that we remain informed, vigilant, and resistant to manipulation. Thank you for watching, and if you found this exploration insightful, make sure to subscribe and like this video for more content that delves into the fascinating dynamics of our world. Stay informed, stay critical, and stay curious.